She didn't even flinch when she saw him. That was the first punch to the ribs, right there. Like he'd been written into her blood already, like old ink seeping up through thin paper. No shock, no stumble, just a polite, casual smile. The way you'd greet a distant cousin you forgot you hated. I stood there, silent, hands jammed into the pockets of my jacket, heart thudding against my ribs like a prisoner rattling the bars. They spoke in that clipped, tight-lipped way people do when they have a shared history they don't want to explain. 1 minute, maybe less. She reeled back to me like nothing happened, slipping her arm through mine, kissing my cheek like a peace offering. "Are you okay?" she whispered, voice syrupy. I lied. Nodded. Forced a tight smile. What was I supposed to say? That the walls were already cracking inside me? Carnival lights blurred into messy, bleeding colors as we walked away, her chattering about fried dough and rigged games while my mind was still 3 steps behind, standing next to her ex, feeling about 2 feet tall. At home, she curled into my side like always, humming under her breath, perfectly content. I lay there, wide awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling the words she spoke to him scrape against the inside of my skull. Days later, it started. The gut twist instinct to check. Sparrow initiated. Middle of the night, her phone glowing like forbidden fruit on the nightstand. 4 digits. 8888. Unlocked. Diving headfirst into betrayal. There it was. Buried not even that deep. Messages like blades hidden in a handshake. It started innocuous enough. "Hey, how have you been?" Casual. Reconnecting. Testing the waters. Then, "I miss you sometimes." The slow, sickening shift. "My relationship feels stale." No more hiding. Just raw, exposed infidelity typed out in black and white. I woke her up with the sharpness of a slap without ever touching her. Just held the phone out. Her eyes opened slow, blinking against the sudden flood of reality. The first reaction? Emotive override. She didn't ask what I saw. Didn't try to apologize. She went straight for the kill shot. "You shouldn't be going through my phone." Weaponized guilt. Like I was the one who'd committed a crime. When that didn't stick, she shifted. The tears came fast, heavy, desperate. Voice cracking, chest heaving. "I'm sorry," she choked. "It's not like it used to be. I fell out of love." PvP, public/private dissonance, screaming through her pores. To everyone else, we were golden. Private cracks widening into canyons. I told her to leave. Didn't yell. Didn't curse. Just leave. Uber summoned. 2 a.m. ghosted in my living room. Door clicked shut behind her like the final line in a eulogy. Silence was a hurricane. The days after were a blur of cigarettes burned down to filters and meals half-eaten then abandoned. I stopped answering my friends' texts. Lay in bed for hours feeling like a hollowed-out version of myself. Smoking indoors, letting the ash fall wherever it wanted. Everything she touched in my apartment felt poisoned. I started seeing her everywhere. In the grocery store, across the street, in the faces of strangers passing by. Always a trick of the mind, a ghost stitched into the scenery. The kicker? She still haunted me. Couldn't scrub her out of my brain. Nights dragged on like bleeding wounds, and every time I closed my eyes I saw her face at that carnival, smiling at him. Smiling like she'd forgotten I existed. Weeks later, phone buzzes. Her name. My stomach didn't even flip. It detonated. "Hey. I miss you. How are you?" Hope is a hell of a drug. I started typing. Poured everything out, how I'd been crushed, gutted, abandoned. How badly I missed her. How empty it felt without her. Hand trembling. Heart wide open. And then I stopped. A tiny voice somewhere deep in my gut whispered, "Remember. Remember how easy it was for her to swing from reassurance to betrayal. Remember the shift, the calculated pivot." Looked her up on IG. She wasn't following him anymore. Curiosity prickled. I asked, "Did you go back to him?" She answered like it was no big deal. SEL, memory selectivity, turned up to 11. Yeah, we hooked up, she texted. But it didn't lead to anything else. Realized we had both grown differently. Translation: he used her, discarded her. Now she was slithering back, hoping I'd play savior. INV, validation invalidation, humming through her casual tone. Like my pain was background noise. I didn't answer. Blocked her instead. It hurt like hell. Physical pain. Like losing a limb. But underneath the agony, there was this peace. This tiny kernel of dignity growing inside me. She had made her bed. Let her lie in it. The gym became my church. Iron and sweat and the rhythmic, pounding noise of music too loud for thinking. My friends, the ones I abandoned for her, welcomed me back without a second thought. Gaming nights. Late night drives. Dumb jokes that made me laugh harder than I had in months. Slowly, I started to remember who I was before I twisted myself into something unrecognizable for someone else's comfort. Behavioral abrasion had been her operating system all along. Communication? She never said what she meant outright, always dancing around the truth, hinting at dissatisfaction without owning it. GLE, perceptive gaslight effect? Any time I felt uneasy, she massaged reality, reframed things to make me doubt my instincts. You're overthinking. He's just an old friend. HCB, affection fluctuation? Hot and cold like a busted radiator. 1 minute overwhelming affection, the next minute distant and distracted. I started running too. Miles at a time. Pushing my body until my lungs burned and my legs threatened to give out. In that pain, I found something pure. Something honest. I picked up my old hobbies again, things I had dropped without even noticing when I was with her. Sketching, cooking, reading. One night, sitting on the floor of my living room surrounded by old sketchbooks, I realized I'd spent so much time trying to be enough for her that I'd forgotten I was already enough on my own. There were bad nights. Nights when the loneliness gnawed at me like a dog at a bone. Nights when her ghost curled into the empty side of my bed. But they got fewer and further apart. I started therapy. Just a few sessions. Enough to untangle the knots she'd left in me. Enough to hear someone say, "It wasn't all on you." I rebuilt myself brick by brick. Not all at once. Some days I crumbled. Some days I soared. But every day, I moved forward. I traveled. Short trips at first. Hiking trails. New cities. Seeing the world on my own terms. Each new place scrubbed a little more of her from my bones. I made new friends. Friends who knew me as me, not as half of a broken couple. I started dating again cautiously. Coffee dates. Walks in the park. Learning not to pin my entire worth on someone's fleeting approval. Learning that love isn't supposed to feel like drowning. I saw her once, months later. Randomly. Grocery store. She looked smaller somehow. Eyes darting when she saw me, mouth twitching like she wanted to say something. I gave her a nod. Cool, detached. Walked past without breaking stride. Didn't need to hear her excuses. Didn't need to relive it. She was a chapter I'd already finished. One I didn't need to reread. The guy I am now, he's different. Stronger. Wiser. Still scarred, yeah? But no longer bleeding. Next time I fall in love, it won't be blind. I won't lose myself again. I'll hold my friends close, keep my passions alive. Because the only thing worse than losing someone else is losing yourself trying to keep them. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just free. Freedom tasted strange at first. Like biting into a fruit you've never tried before, sweet but foreign. Bitter around the edges. I had been someone's boyfriend for so long, I forgot what it meant to just be me. There were days when the loneliness clung to me like a second skin. I'd walk through the city, past coffee shops and crowded parks, feeling like a ghost watching the living. I saw couples laughing together, heads leaned close, and a part of me would crack open all over again. But there was beauty too. Small moments that felt like victory laps, buying groceries without feeling hollow, waking up without that first crushing wave of sadness, laughing, genuinely laughing, at a stupid meme a friend sent me. I started exploring new hobbies, too. Boxing classes at a rundown gym 3 blocks from my apartment. Getting punched felt good in a way I can't explain, like finally giving physical form to the bruises inside. My body changed. My mind changed. I was no longer the soft, eager-to-please version of myself she had molded and outgrown. I started hiking on weekends, climbing mountains just to stand at the top and scream until my voice went hoarse. No one cared out there. The mountains didn't care about betrayal. They just stood there, silent and ancient, offering me a place to bleed in peace. Friends I hadn't spoken to in months, years even, reappeared. We drank beers on rooftops and told old stories, and slowly, the holes in my chest began to stitch closed. I met someone, too. Not the way you'd expect. No grand romantic moment. No whirlwind. Just a girl at a bookstore who noticed I was buying the same novel she loved. A quiet conversation. A coffee shared. No expectations. Her name was Leah. She had a laugh that sounded like sunlight. We talked for hours about everything and nothing. No flirting. No games. Just 2 people existing beside each other, imperfect but whole. With Leah, there were no sharp edges. No hidden knives tucked behind sweet words. She didn't need to tear me down to feel taller. She didn't need me to be broken to love me. I told her everything. Laid it all out, the jealousy, the insecurity, the heartbreak. Expected her to flinch, to recoil. She didn't. "You're not broken," she said. "You're just healing." And for the first time in what felt like forever, I believed it. Part 3, Full Circle. One night, long after Leah had fallen asleep with her head on my chest, I lay awake thinking about it all. The carnival. The betrayal. The pain. And I realized, I was grateful. Grateful she left. Grateful I had fallen apart so thoroughly I was forced to rebuild from scratch. Because without it, I might have spent years, decades, chasing someone else's love, mistaking scraps for a feast. Without it, I might never have found this version of myself, stronger, sharper, softer in the right places. Without it, I might never have found Leah. Pain, it turns out, was the price of admission to a better life. And even though it hurt like hell, even though there were days I thought it would kill me, I'd pay it again. 1,000 times over. Because now, lying here in the dark, with Leah breathing slow and steady against me, I know. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not broken. I'm not lost. I'm free. And this time, I'm never giving that up again.